Hello dear friends, I'm Samuel Moore and welcome to this week's video lesson. As many of you know, I recently published my first flamenco guitar tutorial book, Flamenco Guitar, Compa Essentials, Soleá. This book explores the spontaneous nature of flamenco performance. You can find out more about the book via the link in the description below, but today I'm going to share with you some exclusive content from that book and show you how to start integrating it into your playing in a spontaneous manner. Specifically, I'm going to show you a simple phrase that you can use on beats 7, 8 and 9 of Soleá's basic compass. The idea you're going to learn sounds like this. Here it is in the context of the compass. And here it is one more time with me counting the numbers for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So before we talk about how you can use that language in a practical context, let's just learn the little phrase for 7, 8 and 9. So the basic phrase is quite simple. It's built around this F major 7 chord. And all we're going to use is the thumb to play rest strokes on the bass notes and the index finger doing a free stroke on the second string. So let's get the bass line first. So the bass line, I'm just going to say the note names. It's F, A, G, and then the B. And it's worth mentioning at this stage, I'm saying those note names assuming the capo isn't there. So in other words, I'm not transposing it for you. I'm just saying the note names as they would be without the capo in place. Crucially, notice I'm holding down as much of the shape as possible while I play that. I'm not lifting things away, I'm holding the shape down. So that's the bass line, F, A, G, B. And for each bass note, we're going to do an up strike with the index finger catching this note, C. So in other words, instead of going, I'd like you to do this. Now, that's beats 7 and 8. On beat 9, this is the tricky bit. You're going to put this finger back down onto the A, and you're going to play the A with the thumb, then use your pinky to hammer onto the B, then pull off from B back to A, and then pull off from A to the open G, thus giving you this hammer on and pull off line. The final thing you're going to do is play the note F. So in other words, the note that's being played by this finger. So the hammer on and pull off plus the F give you 5 notes in the space of one beat. It's a quintuplet. So put that with what you've already got and you get this. And that's the basic phrase that we're learning today. Now, why am I showing you this? Well, this goes to the heart of one of the big chapters of my book. Whenever I'm teaching people to play Soleá, I always start with the basic compass, the core rhythmic idea you'll keep coming back to again and again in between other structural components. It's worth mentioning I'm not about to teach you the phrase I'm about to show you. If you want that, you can get the book. I'm just going to explain how this works and how the phrase you've just learnt can work within it. So, when one is playing the basic compass of Soleá, I often tell people you should think of it as an exercise in variations on a theme. In other words, different optional ideas layered on top of one core idea. The core idea, in other words, the most simple version of the Soleá compass that you can use, goes something like this. Now that's a perfectly functional phrase. If you were to play that for Soleá's Compas, it would work very well. But here's the thing, if you had to loop that a number of times when performing, that's going to get very repetitive very quickly. For that reason, it's good to have optional variations for different parts of the Compas, like the one you learnt a moment ago. So in other words, when you get to beat 7, 8 and 9 of the Compas, instead of doing this, you can, if you so choose, put the phrase you've just learnt in. To demonstrate this, I'm going to play 2 Compas cycles. In each one, I'm going to play the core Compas idea that I showed you a moment ago, but the second time I loop it, I'm going to use the 7, 8, 9 phrase you've just learnt. Here's how it sounds. What we can extrapolate from this is a really simple point. Were you to learn many different ways you can vary each section of the Soleá basic Compas, you very quickly have many options to choose from when you're performing. In other words, you can start to improvise and perform in a more spontaneous manner to make your playing more varied. This is a subject that is unpacked in a lot of detail in my new book. But what I've given you today is the first little step towards achieving that wider goal. So if you've enjoyed this session, please follow the link in the description below and treat yourself to a copy of my new book, Flamenco Guitar, Compas Essentials, Soleá. For now, however, I'll leave what you've just learnt in your capable hands.